Thanks, Joe. Tonight, we dig into a mystery involving communist China that needs to be on your radar. Beijing is threatening nearly all facets of American life, our national security, our economy, our entertainment. And now somehow LeBron James has landed himself in the center of all of it. Good evening, I'm Leland Vittert. It's no secret that China has been waging cultural warfare on the American nation. And here's why you should care. Bending the knee to China is not a successful strategy, whether it's Hollywood, the U.S. government, or even major companies. It simply won't work. And that's a lesson King James has learned this week as the Space Jam 2 mystery deepens. Here's what we know. The movie Space Jam 2 has been released in the United States. The NBA star has been silent on China's humanitarian offenses for years. Financial success for both he and Warner Brothers depends on this China release. And without it, Space Jam 2 is likely to lose tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars. Joining us now to discuss the Space Jam mystery and China's ongoing culture war is Steve Krakauer and Rick Berman. Steve looks at how media is covering the China issue. Berman is an expert on how China is trying to use its economic might to influence every part of the American culture and economy. Gentlemen, good to see you both. We appreciate it. Steve, are you surprised the lack of coverage into what's going on with Space Jam?
I wish I could say I was, to be honest with you. Look at the way the media is structured now. It's essentially corporate media are full of conglomerates. You talk about Warner Brothers releasing Space Jam. That CNN is part of Warner Media. ABC News, are they going to cover it? They're owned by Disney, and it might happen to the next Disney release. So in a way, they've sort of hamstrung themselves by aligning, by all of these corporations are just giant conglomerations. And what's the cost-benefit analysis of going after and trying to dig into what's really going on with China? It's not going to be good for their bottom line. It's going to continue to hurt them financially.
Rick, you've cataloged so much of this. If China is going to block LeBron, who's towed the communist line better than just about any celebrity, and his movie is still blocked inside China, what's the lesson for Hollywood?
The lesson for Hollywood is that you need to self-censor yourself. I don't know why Space Jam hasn't really found its way into their movie theaters. You know, they only accept 34 movies that are produced outside of China. But having said that, LeBron is a pretty famous guy out in China, and you would think that his movie would be well received. But in any event, there's a lot of self-censorship going on in this country when it comes to movies. There's a lot of censorship on the part of companies. As Steve just said, you know, ABC is going to watch what it says about China. If ABC's got a substantial interest in Disney parks, you know, they got a huge park in Shanghai. There's a lot of leverage that these companies are experiencing. You know, Kodak tried to get into the pharmaceutical business recently, but they still sell some film. And so some French photographer came up with a great shot. Kodak put it on its page. Then it turned out that he said something about the Uyghurs being in an Orwellian dystopia, and the Chinese went nuts.
Bringing up the Uyghurs is, shall we say, a sensitive topic for the Chinese. Mike Waltz, the congressman who's been outspoken on this, the CCP is deterred by strength and emboldened by weakness. LeBron and Space Jam 2 are learning the hard way that there are consequences to doing business with Xi and the CCP. I guess you could also have said, Steve, CC Nike.
Yeah, look, but it shows the fruitlessness of it. LeBron James essentially attacked the NBA and the general manager, Daryl Morey, during the whole Hong Kong situation a couple years ago. He's been only subservient to China, and still there's nothing that he benefits and nothing that he gains from doing that when Space Jam is not going to make any China money there. So it shows that when you don't cover Uyghur concentration camps, for example, in the media, you're not going to necessarily get the benefit financially from doing that. There's no point to doing that. You might as well cover the reality.
Steve, as you think about this in terms of the media conglomerates looking at this, no one, there was very little done and very little coverage of what the Nazis were doing to the Jewish populations in Germany and also in Eastern Europe in the late 30s and especially into the early 40s. Is there any comparison to the lack of coverage about the Uyghurs? Is it that people aren't interested?
I don't know if it's necessarily comparable, but I would also say though that the fact is that you've got corporate media on one end of the spectrum, and they are making boatloads, billions. I mean, they are hundreds of millions in many cases. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you have media outlets now that have rising platforms, the sort of the anti-establishment media. That's whether it's podcasts, whether it's digital video, whether it's new upstart television networks that are fighting back and are finding a real audience because the audience is there. And that these places are not beholden to China interests and can actually tell the real story. So I think we're seeing a shift now, and I'm glad to see it.
It's an important one, Rick. We just have a couple of seconds here, but so far, I know China Watch, they cover how much the Chinese have had effects on American movies. I know they're buying up movie theaters, talking about making investments in major American infrastructure. We also just saw this. This is from Politico. China is buying up American farms. Washington wants to crack down. Bipartisan pressure is building to stop foreign nationals from purchasing American farm operations and receiving taxpayer subsidies. But perhaps this is a little bit like closing the barn door after the horse has left, because there's a whole lot of American food companies that China owns, right?
Well, they did own Smithfield, which was a huge company, but they disinvested themselves of that. But yes, they are trying to have a program in effect by 2025 where they dominate 10 industries: aerospace, artificial intelligence, transportation, and agriculture is one of them. And they're learning a lot about agriculture, how to produce foods. They've got a huge population. Remember, China's got 4 times the number of people that we have in the United States. And so they're looking for every advantage that they can and to disadvantage other industries in other countries that compete with them. And, they've stolen information from U.S. universities on agriculture technology.
And they certainly
they are into everything.
Well, yeah, and certainly they enjoy the economic power they have over the United States, especially when